Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been getting perfect reviews on almost every gaming website, setting it right up there with the best rated games of all time, one of them being Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. There's no question that Nintendo made another masterpiece in the Legend of Zelda series, but if you're looking for the in-depth details and the pros and cons of the latest installment, well my friend, you've clicked on the right video. I'm EMG Steven for VIOL-ENT Gaming, and you may recognize me from a little channel called SmashCentral.Official. If not, rest assured you're in good hands and I won't be spoiling any scenery or storyline progress that happens after the first chat with Impa in Kakariko Village. So, what are we waiting for? Let's review this beast of a game. As someone who plays a lot of games that can be taken into a competitive esports level, a big thing I look for when trying out a new game is the new player experience. Is the game difficult to get into? Does it have a steep learning curve? Is it too noob-friendly and boring? If these were all annoying exam questions, Breath of the Wild would be getting perfect on all of its answers. Whether you're playing on the Wii U or the Switch, the gameplay is identical and the audio and visual experience on each console is very similar. While there are areas where the Wii U frame rate drops, the same is true for the Switch version in other areas when played on the TV. If you can't get your hands on a Switch for whatever reason, I highly recommend checking out Breath of the Wild for Wii U. I think you'll enjoy the experience just as much. When you first start the game, you wake up in the Great Plateau region, which is actually massive. You have all the freedom to explore wherever you want, however there are certain characters that will progress the story if you speak to them, and there are other characters that will point you back in the right direction if you spent way too long blowing up bokoblins that forgot what your quest was. The main point is, you can basically go wherever and do whatever you want right when you start the game. As you acquire more items and meet people, the game and NPCs teach you things to make things easier or progress the story. And if you do wind up dying to the same thing or area over and over again, there is always another path you can take, another quest you can pursue, or a solution that requires a little bit of strategy and clever thinking. When it comes to the new player experience, Breath of the Wild really delivers with a game that anyone could pick up and fall in love with, even if you've never played a Zelda game before. When you start playing Breath of the Wild, almost immediately you find materials and weapons that you can add to your inventory. When it comes to combat and cooking, these are things that you sort of learn on your own through trial and error, unless there was a couple NPCs I didn't talk to somewhere, but regardless, they're not hard at all to get a hang of. When I first heard about weapons having limited durability, I was worried that it would be difficult to keep yourself armed and ready for a fight. But there's no shortage of weapons lying around in Breath of the Wild. When it comes to fighting, the controls are pretty basic, and as you progress you'll learn how to perform the different strikes such as the charge attack, jump slash, and spin attack. Just remember to use your shield when necessary and pick off enemies from a distance with your bow and bombs. Cooking, however, is a bit more complicated to get a hang of. What I didn't realize for the first few hours of playing the game is that in order to properly cook something and get the maximum stat and health benefits, you have to do it in a dish. If you just drop your materials by a fire, the wind will make things difficult and your food won't cook properly. Once you've made a dish or received one from another character, you can check the recipe to recreate it. So kind of like everything else in Breath of the Wild, combat and cooking is really just a matter of trial and error until you figure out what works and what's easy for you. But it's not difficult and doesn't feel all that time consuming to learn and experiment with. To be honest, I'm surprised I was able to wait this long before mentioning the incredible scenery that Breath of the Wild has to offer. From plains to stone architecture to temples and mountains, this game will have you stopping to admire the view every few minutes. I've been playing the game for over a week now and I'm still left speechless by the scenery, and know that as I continue to play through the game and discover new areas, that those moments of awe and wonder will continue as well. But it's not just all sunshine and rainbows in the Breath of the Wild world, as I've learned, because if you're admiring the landscape in the wrong places at the wrong time, well, giant monsters are going to come to life and attack you. But I could honestly talk for hours about how gorgeous this game is, and how fun and engaging it is, despite allowing you to really carve your own path and do whatever it is you want. If I had to give it a score based on my experience so far, I would honestly rate it a 10 out of 10. We'll be uploading a longer, in-depth review of the entire game after we complete it, so subscribe to VIOL-ENT Gaming so that you don't miss it when the review goes up. If you're interested in checking out my playthrough of Breath of the Wild, you can find my channel by searching SmashCentral Official or clicking the link in the video description below. To see the violent gaming review of the Nintendo Switch, click the top video on your screen. And don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the review, and share this video with a friend while you're at it. Of course, thanks for watching all the way until the end. I'm EMG Steven, now go kill some giant rock monsters.